Unpopular opinion, mutable sign edition. And don't be out here getting your knickers in a twist. Gemini, you will talk to everybody else about the problem except for approaching the problem as it is. Now, it's one thing if you're trying to get another opinion, but you don't need 15 other opinions. I personally think you want to tell everybody what's going on. You're trying to let people know. But the one thing I keep trying to tell y'all is y'all gonna talk about other people until the minute when people start talking about you. Then suddenly you got anxiety and depression and all the A terms. Sometimes you gotta listen to what you say. I feel like you forget about what you say sometimes until it comes back to you because you didn't know that you were being recorded. And another thing that I don't like what some of you do, especially the men, you will talk the talk but you won't walk the walk. But you'll talk the talk as if you're gonna walk the walk, but then when it comes to walking the walk, you can't walk the walk because you tripped. What's that about? You give me trust issues sometimes. Unless you have Cancer placements, then I'm like, all right, you're fine. But for those that have the Taurus placement, return to sender. Also, it's beyond me that you guys don't consider yourself to be the chaotic sign. You guys literally are the sign of chaos. What? I think you guys have really good intentions, but the execution does not pan out for everybody else how you think it's going to pan out. It's only going to pan out for you how you think it's going to pan out. That's why everybody else has something to say about you. There's nothing wrong with keeping your best interests at heart. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is don't present as if you have everybody's interests at heart and then you're only looking after yourself. Are we bitter? Absolutely. Virgo, you be walking yourself into your own problems sometimes. Love and hugs. The uninvolved, not the healed. Sometimes the healed, I don't know. But it's only when you don't listen to yourself that things start getting worse. You're similar to Cancer, more similar than you think. This is especially true in relationships. I'll be walking yourselves into relationships you know is not good for you, and then you're trying to convince everybody else that it's okay. Honey, his behaviors are not healthy. You know they're not healthy because you would not be doing them. But honey, you don't owe him healing. You didn't do anything wrong, or unless you did. But you gotta realize that you can create the life that you want for yourself. Literally, you are exalted in yourself. You don't need a man. Men need you. But what I'm gonna need you to do is fill up your own cup. Be of service to yourself. Because for you, especially, it starts showing up in your body as symptoms when you're around the wrong people. And you just thinking it's a health problem. This is more than the stomach problems y'all are avoiding. Sagittarius, sometimes you guys get too reckless. And I feel like you guys do that because you're overwhelmed. You've had enough of it. You're just trying to get out of a certain situation or away from a certain person. So you turn it up. You're not afraid to show people you're crazy. I'm not mad about it. Look, I have Venus and Mars in Sagittarius. I eat it up. Sometimes y'all get too wild, too crazy. And then you start wondering, well, where did everybody go? Honey. But I said this once and I'll say it again. It doesn't matter how deep you are into a conflict, a bad situation, an unhealthy situation, the universe will always find some way to get you out of it. And let's talk about that work ethic. Honey, God didn't create you to struggle. Sometimes you don't have the patience to wait on God either. Good for you, eat a cookie. You will work. You will do whatever you need to do, especially when it comes to the dollar. Because the last thing you want to feel is caged, like you don't have freedom in this establishment. And some of you don't. But you're going to do whatever you need to do to get yourself free. And what's beyond me is there are certain Sagittarius people that aren't into religion, they're not into spirituality, they're not into manifestation, not into the law of attraction, and yet they don't even realize they're manifesting the life that they want for themselves. That makes me giggle. But I like traveling with you guys. You guys are a fun time, yes. Pisces, some of y'all have the craziest lives. Similar to Virgo, you guys will be knee deep in some unhealthy relationships, some weird situations, and you guys will spend years, and I mean years in these situations, and people won't even know. To the outside world, everything is great. Everything is rainbows and unicorns and peachy keens. Let's talk about that behind the scenes. Because honey, let's face it, the only thing you're trying to leave behind is these memories. Leave that man alone. The difference between you and Virgo is that you will walk yourself again into that same situation. 333's on my clock. You know your spirit guides are holding your hand with a wet wipe as I say that. You got to listen to your intuition. You got to know when the energy is off because 9 out of 10 times you know the energy is off and you know it's not your energy. Then you start getting in your head. Then you got universe like, didn't we just got you out of this. All for the sake of, I want to have fun. I want to have a good time. We know you want to have fun and a good time, and you deserve it too. But honey, your energy is very contagious. And so are other people, so much so that you absorb their energy as your own. Then when everything is good, all of a sudden, things just start falling by the wayside energetically. Suddenly, finances start slipping. Your friends are just distancing themselves all of a sudden. You're like, well, what happened? Let's recap. Who are you around? What are you doing? What have you been communicating? But I think the worst thing is people knowing what you guys go through and then they end up talking about it. The karma. They don't even know what's coming towards them. Because you know they couldn't even handle 5 seconds of what you guys have to go through for years. Please, I'm a South Node in Pisces. I know a little bit about it. All right, that's it. I'm done.